Hello, everybody. Sassy Biggins here from Big in the USA podcast, and I love Tucker Carlson. We all do, I'm sure, deep, deep down in our hearts. He recently did an interview with Sam Bankman-Fried, or Fried, however you want to say his name, the guy who went to jail for funny money, some cooking the books accounting, and donating a lot of money to less favorable political parties. But we all know that prison is supposed to be hard. It's supposed to be terrible. Um, it's supposed to crush parts of your soul, or it's supposed to be a journey like no other. But parts of this interview, it doesn't feel like there's any suffering, or the things described. It's like I would volunteer to do as a free citizen, almost like a vacation. Now, this is also the same prison that Diddy is in, so it's very, posh, uh, not the hardcore criminals. But just as we go through this, just listen to see how this suffering is portrayed. And I say the word suffering very loosely. Okay.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm in NBC Brooklyn, in a little side room.
How long have you been there?
I've been in prison for about what's it been now? It's been about 2 years.
So what's it like?
It's sort of dystopian. The fortunate thing, the place I'm in, I'm not in physical danger. And frankly, a lot of the staff, they're trying to be helpful. They're trying to, do what they can given the constraints.
Helpful and not in danger. That could describe any vacation spot in Mexico. The Seychelles, pick one. They say just don't go outside of the specific area and you'll be fine. That's how do we know he's on vacation in Mexico? Just saying. Observation.
Problems?
Not of the sort of acute kind. Like I haven't been attacked or anything like that. I've had a lot of logistical problems. And, the biggest, frankly, was when I was on trial, trying to get access to legal work was nearly impossible. I would, on a typical trial day, they'd wake me up at 4 a.m. I'd spend 5 hours in various buses, vans, and
Yeah, paperwork. You gotta do your paperwork. Wiskowski, you forgot your paperwork. He has all the time in the world to wait for paperwork. I'm still waiting for that moment where I should feel for his plight and don't. Let's see, go up to. Come on.
So what do you do all day when you're not on trial?
Well, it's a really good question because there's not a whole lot to do in prison. I read books. I've, started reading novels again. I play some chess, and I work on my legal case to the extent I can. There's appeal, there are other things. I do what work I can from in here on that, but the lack of other meaningful things to spend my time on is one of the most kind of soul-crushing things about prison.
He got so bored, he was forced to read novels again. I wish I had that problem. And from the looks of things, he gets his 3 square meals a day or something close enough to it. He's not beaten, not starved, doesn't have to go on any kind of work crew. He's no one's bitch. He's, not shacked up with anybody in jail. he's geeky enough to where I believe he also admits later on that he's not really in anyone's friend group. So I wish I was in such a safe place, not in danger, where all I got to do is read novels all day and I have to worry about whether or not someone called me back. This is like, how many mothers do you know with like 20 kids who would love to volunteer for this type of situation? Clearly, you have to embezzle money, so I guess you just got to learn to be better at embezzling money. So when you go to this, what's that jail they sent Martha Stewart to? They called it Camp Cupcake. I've also seen other pictures of like Swedish prisons and stuff, and they look like mini libraries with a breakfast nook. The things that people call, jail, it's just the ways I could rip that apart. And this also goes to his attitude of those around him. Let's see here.
So, like, have you made friends there? Are you hanging with Diddy? I think he's in there with you.
He is. And it's, I don't know, he's been kind. I've made some friends. It's a weird environment. It's sort of a combination of a few other high profile cases and then a lot of, ex-gangsters or sort of, alleged ex-gangsters.
Yes. Definitely alleged. So what?
Obviously he doesn't, I don't, as you said, it's kind of a soul crushing place for the world in general. And
soul crushing to be near Diddy and lower level criminals that you get to play chess with. My soul isn't crushed yet, even listening to this.
What we see are just the people that are around us on the inside rather than who we are on the outside.
Oh, I'm sure. And you're two of the most famous prisoners in the world in the same unit. What do the armed robbers think?
Well, it's a really interesting question. And if, of course, some of them are, I think are thinking like, wow, this is sort of a big opportunity, like, to meet people they wouldn't otherwise get to meet, which is.
Hold on a minute. It's a wonderful opportunity to be locked up with Sam Bankman-Fried and P. Diddy, and that the low-life normal people get to be locked up with them. Now, from the P. Diddy stance, yeah, he's earned all his fame. That one I'm going to stick with. But it's an honor to be locked up with Sam Bankman-Fried. I don't know, that Wilson volleyball thing, that's starting to look pretty good by comparison. Just saying. Personal opinion.
It shocked me the first time I heard that. Right? It makes sense from their perspective, but like, boys, that's not how I think about prison.
Sorry to laugh. No, that's such a good. I bet it's not how you think about it. No,
it's not. And laughing's all you can do sometimes. There's no better alternative.
Yes, you must laugh so that you do not cry.
They're good at chess. That's one thing I learned. Like, former armed robbers who don't speak English, and probably didn't graduate middle school, are a surprising number of them are like fairly good at chess. Like, I'm not saying they're grandmasters, but like, I lose games to them all the time. I was not expecting that.
Wow. So how?
They're not grandmasters, but they can beat the financial techie whiz kid at a board game. And that's shocking that they have brains and they know how to use them. The sense of grandeur and self-importance, it's just, it just drips off some of this. eh, They laugh so they don't cry in this Camp Cupcake. Basically, safe environment with helpful guards. These are his own words. You don't have to make them up. Just saying. And then just the last of it, just to say I got all of my angst out. Because the jokes just kind of write themselves, or just repeat what he says in a different tone of voice, and you can just feel the of it all. All right, let's see here. What am I going to?
Now you're in a world with no money.
Oh, yeah.
What's the medium of exchange in prison?
It's whatever people have, and muffins, like these little, so they're like little plastic wrapped. You go to like a gas station, and like on the counter there might be like a plastic bowl with little individually wrapped plastic muffins that have been sitting there for a week at room temperature. Imagine one of those.
Oh my lord. He has to have room temperature muffins. All muffins are usually room temperature. In fact, once they're done cooling off, once you're baking them, they stay room temperature. I don't know where the shock is supposed to be in that statement. I don't know. It's because they're wrapped in plastic wrap. I don't know. But moving on. But yeah, barter system with muffins. Oh, so risky.
That's that's like standard. Is that a packet of ramen soup or a kind of disgusting looking little foil package of fish in oil at room temperature?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you went from crypto to the muffin economy.
Yeah, that's right.
How would you compare them? Obviously, it's harder to move muffins internationally, but
right. I don't think they're going to be
as a currency
anytime soon globally.
All right, Tucker at least made a joke about him investing in muffins. That part, yeah, that was a good one. And for last but not least,
everything is so diminished in prison. You see people getting into a fist fight over a single banana. Not because they even care about it that much, but because what else is there to channel your caring into?
What else do you channel your Karen into? Fighting over banana. We did the exact same thing when I was a kid. Now, I have 5 sisters. And yeah, we fought over banana once. Yeah, we kind of beat on each other. So to say that he still lives in a horrible place sounds like he lives with a really big family and this is just normal. Moving on.
Ooh, that's grim. Did you eat the muffins, by the way?
I don't eat
them.
I no, I just hoard them, and I don't actually eat them. I mostly eat rice and beans and ramen.
Wow. Well, it looks like it's been good for you. Have you gotten any tattoos?
I have not. I know some people who have, but I have not gotten any prison tattoos.
Have you thought about it?
So, there's a part of me that's always like thought about getting a tattoo, but talking with the inmates about their, sanitization procedures or lack thereof for the needles, sort of, that cured that idea in my mind. No interest anymore.
It's not worth the Hep C.
It's not worth the Hep C. It's, I would say like maybe they go through like 4 people or so before bothering to sanitize.
Yeah, good to know that you should never get a prison tattoo because of cleanliness issues. But then you really didn't have to be all that smart to know that. You just had to be smart enough or street smart enough to be able to tie your own shoes to know that you shouldn't trust somebody who doesn't clean their needles efficiently. I mean, they do talk about a lot of other stuff, but it's just so fluff. It's a guy. He's in jail. He reads novels. He wasn't the person he used to be. No one helped him during, no one helped him after. And I bet he was chomping at the bit to talk to someone as smart as Tucker Carlson after admitting that he was so surprised that the other thieves he was jailed with could have intelligence. Shocker, I know. If you have any comments on this, leave them below. I stalk all my analytics and stuff, so should at least get a like out of me from it. But yeah, what are your thoughts on this subject? Well, don't forget to share, like, follow, subscribe, leave snarky comments, because sarcasm really is the spice of life. And we should not suffer from having a flavorless life. Have a good one, folks.